Hello, this is Graham Bibby on the 8th of May 2015 for a bit of an update on markets on what has been quite a difficult week. Maybe it's a difficult few weeks, maybe it's a difficult year so far. I'm sorry to reiterate, even though I'm saying that, my undervalued superior earnings stock watch list has been growing. But we need overall market psychology to be neutral to positive, and at the moment we're kind of in limbo. So let's start off anyway with this S&P 500, and it's a US market. I'm going to show you a few other markets today because it's not just related to the US, and the reason I'm focusing on the US is that's where I can find the most opportunities for undervalued stocks with superior earnings. Now, for some of you, what does that mean? Well, superior earnings means these companies are growing faster than the average. And in some instances, the earnings growth, which in general for the S&P 500 by the experts of the industry, the research analysts that do this research, the projection for the next 3 to 5 years is the average company will grow its earnings 10% per annum. However, in my list, I have companies growing their earnings anything from 15, most 20, some 30, some 40% per annum, which means they're obviously growing 50%, 200%, 300% faster than the average. So they should outperform the average. Now, when you buy a stock, you pay a thing called a PE ratio. That's the price to earnings, and the market itself currently is trading around 17 times PE ratio. So you don't have to get into it, but it means the price for the earnings. So it's a 1.7 times multiple because you've got 10% growth, 17% PE, 1.7. Now, invariably, my stocks are 1.2 or less, which means they are cheaper than the market. And in many instances, the stocks are around 0.8, which means they're less than half the price of the market with superior earnings growth. And I went back hundreds of years to analyze in stocks with superior earnings over time seriously outperform the market. So, although I talk about the market, my stocks aren't the market. My stocks are special situations which are undervalued superior earnings. So anyway, back into it. Here's the S&P 500. This line here shows you where we were at the beginning of the year, and this line here shows you where we are now. As at last night, we're marginally above where we started the year, so no return. It broke out to the upside, then we've been finding it difficult to make any progress anywhere. The Russell 2000, I sent you a chart earlier on, was doing better. It started the year with this arrow is now, see this arrow? And we broke out, as we would expect, corrected back to get support, then started to move higher up here. But in the last, let's say 3 weeks, the market has sold off. So it's been quite a difficult period, and there's been a number of sell signals because at the end of the day, if stocks turn down, I have to exit because my first priority is protection. And I know if you stay with this, we will outperform. So we just want to make sure that we protect from the downside. Now, last night, that was the previous bottom in March. We had bottomed the night before here, which is marginally higher than here, and we were up last night. So that's more positive. We need to see it turning up. I just want to show you elsewhere. This is Germany. Germany, Europe, was here where the arrow is at the beginning of the year, then started to sell off, and then started this nice rally all the way up. And this is the sort of thing that would be in my Insiders Club FOS service, which is why I keep suggesting to people that if they're in the Insiders Club undervalued superior earnings growth, that they look at adding Insiders Club FOS also to their list. But even this is the last 5 weeks. there's been correction going on. The uptrend's still intact, but there's no headway being made. I just want to come up here to see last night's market action. This is one of the stocks that we sold because was in this downtrend, short-term downtrend, but it had a very nice evening last night, up 4.88. Now the reason I show you it is that may be a signal that a bottom's coming in place here. This point where the arrow is here could be a bottom which is higher than this. We haven't broken above this yet, and the moving average is pointing down, which isn't great. But overall, if you've had a move like this since October, you could expect to get a correction like this. A correction is people taking profits before new buyers come in. Some of the stocks that went up again last night, I mean, Horizon Pharma was correcting like this, had a 3% up night, and 27.50 could be the bottom in place now for upward movement. Skyworks Solutions, which has been a great stock for us, has also been in a consolidation phase basically since March. So we were looking great here, then we couldn't make any progress. 90 is the support level, almost went through it on this day, but ended the day up here where that arrow is. And that's why I don't work on intraday prices, I work on closing prices, just to show you that bump, 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 bump. So during the day, that's the spread of the day, the stock was below 90, which would be roughly a support level. But then buying came in and it ended at this point on the day. And now this bottom here is higher than this bottom and that bottom. This top's not higher than that top, but we've ended. See the line on the side, just to get you fully in tune. This line on the side is where the stock ended the day. So here you see that's the spread of the day. The stock was here. That's the spread of the day. The stock was here. So the stock ended towards the high of the day. So I was looking a bit more promising. Lithium Motors is another one of our stocks that I've liked. Been in a correction mode. That bottom's higher than this bottom. Now this top is higher than the previous top, so that looks quite positive. So I'm just saying to you right now, I'm a little bit disappointed. I would like to see the stocks moving. They're in pause mode. There is a saying about sell in May and go away. I don't think that always works, because for me, especially in 2013, our undervalued superior earning stocks had some of the best moves during that period. So we're kind of staying with that. I just want to take you quickly to my weekly global roundup. I just want to show you, what do I want to show you? I want to show you, let's go down here, the dollar. The dollar, which I signaled a breakout bump when it broke above this level, which was in July, and we've had that huge move. And then I told you that it looked to me as if the stop loss point had been broken here, where that circle is, and it looks as if the US dollar has either just gone through a correction phase because of the strength of this move, or it might be turning over. This is the world index, which is the MSCI World Index. It's a basket of the various countries weighted for their size. And again, you'll see this is roughly the end of December, beginning of January. It's up about 2 or 3%. So overall, it's been difficult for markets. They have these pause phases, and then we get some clearance, and I'm looking forward to that in the weeks and months ahead. Just to show you here, I have airline sector, which went through a correction. One stock I think we're putting out a buy on today is JetBlue, JBLU. Boop. and this stock didn't correct through this phase, and this is the higher bottom here that we're looking for. So that's actually a buy signal. So, you know, some airline stocks are looking good, and it seems to me, you know, last night was quite a reasonable night for airline stocks. They've gone in this consolidation phase, but they did have a strong move, so you could expect that. So I've got airline stocks that I watch. I've got Asian ETFs in here that I watch. Indonesia. You see all these things corrected very sharply in the last month. Japan, which was looking healthy, corrected quite sharply in the last few weeks. It's nothing to get overly worried about because corrections do happen. There's Asia ex Japan. I've got in my watch list here European ETFs that I watch, all sorts of those. Greece is coming off the lows. Look at this. Greece down a lot, bit speculative. I think emerging Europe looks interesting because it hasn't really corrected and it's certainly broken out, so that could be a good place to be, but you need to be in the Insiders Club FOS. I look at gold and silver stocks. This is Nugget, which is down from something like 2000 to 11. That's huge. Uranium stocks, I think, are on the upturn. I've got internet innovation stocks here. I've got internet information providers. So Yelp had a big drop just over a week ago, but had a big rise last night, so that's quite confusing for investors. And there's Alibaba, which had gone from 120 down to 80. Looks like it's trying to break to the upside, which is another area that I look at. So once you set all these windows up, it's reasonably easy to follow. Oil and gas I'm particularly interested in, which is why I want to launch an undervalued special situations. This is Petrobras from Brazil. Went from 22 down to 5. PetroChina has been a bit more bullish because it is China. But I watch all of these areas, and then I have my down here. I have my weekly global roundup, which I do some stage, and I have interesting things in here that are for special situations, like Bebe Stores. It looks like it's breaking out. Tesla has broken out to the upside, had a great move last night. I have a lot of individual research on Tesla, and if you want to get involved in this, you need to contact me and say you'd like to be in the Insiders Club Special Opportunities, which is stocks that I think are very, very sexy. They're probably undervalued because they're beaten up. They're in the oil and gas industry, they're in the mining industry. It could be a sexy thing like Tesla. I know the technology they're going to bring out. The stock itself right now looks expensive on a PE type ratio, but I know what they're bringing out. So, and I know a lot of analysts think that this stock could be a 10 times performer. So let's see what happens in the week ahead. Disappointing, we've raised a lot of cash. That's what I do for protection. I could do with seeing some nice upward move now, but I'm still confident that both services, Insiders Club Undervalued Superior Earnings Growth Stocks and the Insiders Club FOS, will provide very good buy signals over the year. And the market action, especially in emerging markets, seems to be a breakout to the upside with a correction going on. So now is a good time to add to positions, and we're in it to win it. We're in it to be unemotional, for protection from the downside, and then ride with it as those waves come. We can't predict the waves, but when we see the trends, we go with it, up or down. So this is Graham Bibby on the 8th of May saying, I hope this has been interesting. It's been 14 minutes, and I'll look forward to following me again next week, and have a great weekend.